Hi, I am Kyle Vines. Welcome, and it is 8:19 on Monday, February 26th, and I will tell you about my day with an interview, some content that I generated, lessons learned from that, and then how I'm going to take these videos on moving forward. So, as I've mentioned in the last video, maybe multiple videos now, I am closing down my business and I need to have cash coming in. To that end, I did have an interview today. It was one of the best interviews I've had, so very excited about that. And it would be for a company that is more of a mature startup with about 60 employees. They currently have three data centers in the US and then have another 25 in production in the US and Europe. And I would be in a role that's brand new, but that is running or managing the utility development there. So, marries a lot of my background and interests. So, very, very excited about that opportunity. The conversation went fantastic. And to that end, the person, she's not a recruiter, she actually does staffing for the company, so she's internal, and she was giving me tips on how to be prepared for the next round interview. It was scheduled for 20 minutes. At 21 minutes I said, hey, I want to be respectful of your time, we're there. Do we need to can't like close this thing off now? And she said, nope, I've got time if you do. And we talked for another 25 minutes. She told me when she had the buffer to have to get on to the next call. So that worked out really, really well. Next thing, through the weekend, I had some ideas for content to develop and wanted to get that done after the meeting this morning. I will never do that again. I will not generate content unless it's just quick. Hey, this is what I'm doing during the day anymore. Extremely frustrating and takes away from doing the work. Content is for the evening after the day's work is done so that I can just talk about the day's work. But I will tell you about what that content was. I think it's an interesting exercise, and it's a way that I have been doing a couple of things for the business and the startup here. Let me see here. So what I was doing is taking a question that somebody had: how would you invest $10,000? Something that I don't have background in investing, except for my personal time and energy bootstrapping, and filtering that through channels that I wouldn't normally utilize. Mostly using AI instead of a search engine. That's a huge transition that is specific to this year, with the development of GPT-4 that I am heavily leaning into. So, whereas I would typically Google something and try to find the path towards the answer that I was looking for, now I input that question into ChatGPT and get the data that I want. GPT-4 does search Bing, so it does search through a search engine, and then gives that content back out. So this question was, where would you invest $10,000? Personally, right now, it would be for my family, with my family, because that's what I value. But if I were trying to make money, I don't have any background there. So I asked it what Elon Musk, Noah Kagan, and Alex Hormozy would invest in. Came down to a SaaS product that would lean into the change towards remote work. I have a full video about that. You can go watch it. Super interesting. But the main point is, I asked an interesting question that I had no idea about. And then through prompt engineering, I was able to find a framework that I could then apply to my startup. And that's the interesting thing about asking interesting questions, is that you don't know where you're going to end up. But I found a framework that I can then apply to my business, Cedar Vale, in preparation for this coming Wednesday's first investor meeting, which is through Denver Angels. So, but lesson learned. I also have a new audio setup here. Instead of recording through the iPad video, I'm recording through GarageBand. Again, this is just an iPhone Pro 14 or 14 Pro rather, iPad Pro, and that's what I'm putting all this together with. But extremely frustrating getting a new setup going and missing the mark multiple times. Beyond that, that's, I think, most of the day. So lesson learned on content, fantastic job interview, and the fact that asking interesting questions and then being available to travel the paths that may present themselves, and then learning from that and then applying any frameworks that you learn along the way to whatever your endeavor is. That was the most interesting part of the day. The part of the day I liked most was hanging out with the kids and family. But that is it for today. Thanks. Follow along. I'll keep doing this.